What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of Forza Barca podcast. We're so excited to join you again. We're gonna be talking today about the Classico that just happened yesterday, and we're gonna talk about just what we think and how the team is doing and everything else. Um, so let's get into it, man. What did you think? Let's talk about overall about the classic about the game and how it went, and then we can talk about each half separate because they're two sets of players, and we can analyze it and talk about it that way.
Yep. First of all, hi, and let's just start with the starting lineup. I think it's very interesting. We started with Ter Stegen in goal. We had our defenders, Jordi Alba on the left hand side, then Eric Garcia, Christensen, and Araujo on the right hand side. Very interesting. It's time to experiment a little bit. It's not like it was the first time Araujo played in that position, but nonetheless, it was a Classico, and Xavi dared to try something new. And then we had Busquets, Gavi, Pedri in the midfield, and up front Ansu Fati, Leva, and Rafinha, which we will talk about later, because he was very important in that game.
Yeah.
The first half. Well, that's the lineup. When you first saw the lineup, what did you think about it? Did you notice that there were some experimental shit going on with Xavi?
Um. When I saw the lineup, the first thing that came to mind is that he's not taking this as a friendly. He's not putting the kids. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm.
ones that he brought on to experiment with. He put in a strong lineup. He put in everybody that we expected to play, especially up front. I was surprised to see Rafinha at first instead of Dembele, just because Dembele is used to playing in Classico and he already has,
Mm.
the experience there. I was surprised to see Lewandowski as a starting lineup because it's his first game and he hasn't really trained with the group much. I thought he'd come in the last 10, 15 minutes. So him starting kind of took me by surprise a little bit. Um, and yeah, other than that, I mean Jordi Alba on the side, and I was surprised not to see Dest starting and see Araujo, but at the same time, I remembered that the same thing happened when we played against them in April. We had Araujo on the side there to try to eliminate Vinny as much as possible with his speed and everything, and that worked again this in this game. But yeah, that's it didn't take me by surprise overall, but some details there were I expected a little bit different. But it was a great lineup to begin with.
Yep. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised about Busquets, especially after the first game. I thought maybe he would start with KCA. But we will get to into that later. I think what we can say from the get go, we could see that that pressing that was basically, especially when Xavi came in. And basically, that's what we were playing when we had that good 3 to 4 months streak last season. I think it's beautiful to see that maybe down the line we can keep it up and play like that in most of our games. I think it's not physically possible to do that in every game, and it's probably not necessary in every game. You need to have a lot of concentration and strength to pull it off. And some teams are just naturally defensive, so it doesn't make sense to run around and press them. So I think the first half was basically what uh, I don't want to say expect, but um, if we are going to say that this is an exciting season ahead of us, and we are going to have some of the old traits of Barcelona coming back, and then yeah, it's basically it's expected, but also surprising because a lot of these new players fit right in. And I'm talking about Rafinha and Lewandowski, who had good games, even though Lewandowski didn't score.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a very encouraging start. I think that all the players that were there, especially in the first half, dominated the game. We pressed really, really well, really effective pressing. And if you realize the goal came from from us really high press until they lost the ball in a really crucial place. So that I think that's what's expected, and that's what Javi wants from all the players that we have. Like you said, we're not gonna do it at the same intensity every time, because like you said, some uh, um, some teams will just kick the ball high as soon as you press them. It's not gonna work with them. They're not gonna try to play at the back like every big team that you're gonna play against. So we're gonna have to do something different. Um, but you're right. Yeah, it was a very effective press. And everybody and the players that are new, everyone, I think, melted in really well. Like we were gelled really well with the other players. Knew exactly what was going on. You didn't see anybody that was out of place. Even Christensen in the back played really well. Linked up really well with Busquets and Pedri and Gavi when he moved the ball forward. So I think there's a lot of good signs if you just look at the first half and how we played.
Yeah, I agree as well. It's kind of surprising how, and don't get me wrong, we had some games, especially the Classico last season, where we had some defensive stability, but it was very surprising how, like I said, the new guys. It's all about the new guys. I
Yeah,
mean, we expect a world class from Pedri. We expect a good game from Gavi. I think there are no superlatives to describe these two young players, but at the same time, when Christensen, I did not expect that because I never really watched him like really watched how he played when he played with Chelsea. So he just went under my radar,
mm,
but the stuff that he does and how confident he's on the ball, that's a good sign.
yeah,
And there, of course, it's a friendly. Of course, it's preseason, but um, in stark contrast to the game with versus Inter Miami, we can say that Real Madrid always has quality. They
yeah,
always have quality, and none of their players want to lose a game against Barcelona. That's just a fact.
yeah,
You don't want to lose against your arch rival. That's simply a fact, friendly or not. And to see someone like Christensen perform, someone like Rafinha perform, Leva perform, it was a fantastic first half. Fantastic first half.
yeah. And then one thing that um yeah, one thing we need to keep in mind is that Madrid hasn't played a single game in preseason. This is their first game.
Yeah.
So they played, and I'm gonna talk to my brother who's a Real Madrid fan. Hi, Matt. I'm sure you're listening right now. Um, he said that they only played they only played one game, versus the B team, the Real Madrid B team, which is
Yep.
just that doesn't really count. But like they
Mhm.
haven't played this game against somebody else. This is the first game, so they're not. I mean, granted, this is our third game. second game with the new signings and everything, because the first one against the and that we played in Spain wasn't we didn't only had like Pedri and Kessier. I think the only that played from the and some other ones, but we didn't have the full squad that we have now. So this is the second game. This is their first game technically. But at the same time, we're not judging them how bad or good they are. We're just judging how good we are as far as pressing and
Of
passing
course,
and
of
tactics. So
course.
that's what we're talking about. And it's awesome to see players like Rafinha just fucking balling the first two games. He's just on a different level that we haven't had on the right for a while. Since Neymar, I think even Neymar played on the left, but just the flair, the dribbling, the creativity that he has, we've missed it since Neymar left, I think. So having him, I think this year is going to be a great watch. It's going to entertain us for sure. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, the first half was top notch.
Yeah, yeah, we gotta talk about that goal, of
Yeah,
course.
fucking 90
I think,
degrees.
yeah, I think first of all we have to commend the team for pressing so well. Of course, it was a link up between Era Militao. Maybe he thought he was already in the World Cup, giving that amazing assist to Rafinha. But again, that you got to press high. You got to have that team effort, and it wasn't. The warning was even there. I think a couple minutes before that, when Kamavinga lost the ball in the 5-yard box or something like that, and it was just wide. I think Pedri had stole the ball
Yeah.
and had that assist to Ansu, who
He should
placed
have.
the
I
ball.
think he should have passed that one too instead of shot. But I don't think he. I mean, we can't really judge once you have the ball right in front of the goal. The first thing you want to
Yeah,
do is
yeah,
shoot.
yeah.
But in
I,
hindsight,
I don't think it was a bad effort
no,
per
no, it
se, but
wasn't. Yeah,
um, when it comes down to actually performing in the season, he needs to put that in. I
yeah,
mean, there are no second chances. I don't, whatever the case may be, that goal, that shot, so beautiful, and it's it's just a taste of what that man can do. I
yeah,
think,
yeah,
and if you remember, I said Rafinha, he might be our best signing
yeah.
with Kessier, but it's really he got me excited. I'm just going to say that.
But
And that's not easy, man. That's
it's
not easy
it's
because
hard as fuck because
I'm Debbie Downer.
it's he didn't do anything. He just played like he stopped the ball and he just shot it. He did not do any other touches or anything. He just controlled the ball and then shot it right off the bat, right on the corner there. It's something that you don't see every day, and it's an amazing goal, and I'm sure that boosts his confidence. It's Classico second game in a row that he scored. It's I'm sure he boosts his confidence a lot, which we need going into the season. To somebody who's confident and up front to lead the team with goals and assists. And I can only imagine once him and Lewandowski actually click, that's gonna be a fucking powerful up front, man. It's gonna be a dangerous connection right there on top.
Yeah, yeah. And just talking about the depth, I mean, that's another aspect of it. You know,
Yeah,
you can because you're not going to perform every game. So, and when we have that depth, it's kind of sad that and now we are going right into the second half if we're talking about Memphis Depay, because Memphis, he's just too good,
yeah.
to be honest. If I think about it, the prospect that he could bring to the team, it's a damn shame that he's probably going to leave. So, but it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, they need to uh, have that financial fair play
Yeah,
stuff that La Liga imposed on us. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, if we could have both Memphis and Dembele plus Rafinha, Ansu and Ferran, that would be insane. That would be insane. That would be an insane squad up front. We saw a lot of great. I, I read on Twitter somebody wrote that it wasn't a great match for Gavi, and I thought to myself, what game were you watching, man? That guy, because a lot of people, if they don't see like real actions,
flashes, like yeah,
him just
dribbling
taking,
and yeah,
but yeah, him taking the ball, dribble right down past 2 to 3 defenders, it's not a good game. But that's not always your task. You need sometimes just to close in on the guy, on the opponent with the ball, or just tactically stand right there so the guy with the ball cannot pass the ball. And Gavi did just that. He was the one pressing. He was the one giving commands, and at such a young age, it's insane. He embodies exactly what Xavi wants.
yeah,
That's what Gavi is, and that's what Pedri is as well. Those two, they don't need the guidance of Busquets. They know exactly what they are doing. And I think Gavi and Pedri both had a great game, or a first half, and the same goes for me for Christensen. It
yeah.
was an absolute masterclass performance. Araujo as well. He had that one scene with Vinicius where he got
Accidentally bounced. Yeah, he just bounced off Vinny, and
yeah,
he could have gotten it. Yeah.
yeah.
But
He it didn't look good, but at the end of the day,
I
he
think he
made.
recovered. He almost got it back from him. So it wasn't that it wasn't like he passed him with flash or with with a trick that he
Mm,
got him bamboozled or whatever. He just tried to pass him. It bounced off Araujo, and then it bounced off Vinny again, and he continued. So it wasn't anything that he outperformed him or whatever. But like you said,
then we had Christensen back then, and he had that clearance.
yeah,
Absolutely
yeah.
amazing. And of course, Araujo, the the dribble past the
Oh
Rudiger.
man, that's making a whole like it's circulating all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's his speed is absolutely his top speed. You cannot match that. I don't think any um, center back, because that's what he is that fast. He's strong. He's tall. He's big, and he's fast. That's
that's
something that
insane.
yeah, it's absolutely insane. Because usually those big tall guys, they are not that fast. I mean, prime Piquet was not a slouch either, but right now he's what it is.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And imagine him and Kounde in the back, man.
That would be insane. That would be insane,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I'm
We gotta get
telling
to
you.
that. We gotta get to that at some point. But yeah,
Yeah,
it would be, man. I think once if we and I hope we do get Kounde, then I think that should be it. Maybe get like a backup for left back or for a left back beside
no,
Balde.
I'm
But
I'm I'm cool,
I'm cool with
Baldy.
Balde too. But if Javi is not convinced, I'm okay with him getting a left back to alternate with Alba if we need it. But I think Balde should, and I think he trusts Balde because been playing in every preseason
Mhm.
game that we've and he's showing a lot of signs of improvements as we see him play. So I think I think we definitely should give him a shot. I think he'll I think he'll grow into his role and be a great
Yeah.
successor for Alba eventually
He
when
need
he
to
retires.
he needs to work on his key passes,
Yeah,
but other than that, he's got the speed.
yeah,
Maybe if he goes into the gym with Leva and Araujo, maybe he can put on some physicality, some muscles, and
yeah.
then I think he's good to go. Um, just to finish up the first half, let's just, for the sake of it, just rate the halves on their own.
Yeah,
I would go with 9.5 out of 10 for the first half.
I will go with 9 just because it would have been a 10 if Leva scored a goal, but he didn't, so I'll go with a 9. But
Well, they have, unfortunately, we have to say that they have the best goalkeeper
oh
in the
man,
world.
yeah, he's fucking amazing. That dude, yeah, he's something else. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think
It-
it's a great
it's an
half.
insurance for them,
Yeah,
basically. They can play like shit, but you have like the world best world keeper.
yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I think when last year we saw how he saved them a lot in a lot of games. A lot of
Yep.
games, they almost either lost or tied because of him, and they end up saving them and winning the game in the end. So I think this year is going to be the same, especially if they don't reinforce their fullbacks. It's going to be the same. The wings are going to be a liability for them. So he's going to be saving their ass again, I'm sure, and and most of the season. Um, but,
Well, I think that's type of. I mean, they were missing Karim Benzema and Carvajal. I think it's kind of their play, especially against teams that keep the ball possession. I mean, at the end they had more ball possession, but we had a
right,
different team on the pitch. But in the first half, we controlled the ball, and I think it's kind of their game, just being more defensive and waiting for that counter attack. That's basically their game. So they need to have a good goalkeeper, um, and it's not our way of play. And I don't think we should follow that, even if it's successful and it's proven successful for them.
yep,
I think when I watch Barcelona, I want to be entertained, and have that good link up play and ball possession, and that's why we fell in love with this club, because of the philosophy
yep,
behind it.
yeah,
But
hundred
let's just
percent.
continue with the second half. I think a lot of substitutions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say ruined the game, because, of course, it's Classico, and we have a lot of substitutions on both sides. Kind of took out the stability, especially in the midfield. The things that I like are basically Memphis Depay. Absolutely amazing game from him
Mm-hmm.
coming in, and I like Frankie De Jong in that
Center back.
CB position. I'm going to be honest. Of course, not everything was perfect, and he played that position before, but I like it a lot. Maybe he could stay and even be a great asset, basically in the midfield, and because it will be a long season with the World Cup. Who knows what happens?
Yeah,
You know.
I think the role that he played, and it's not even just a CB. He moved the ball forward a lot of the time and like
Mhm.
cruised all the way through the midfield and passed it like to the forwards, to the three forwards. So he had a lot of moments with the ball. He wasn't just a natural like a classic CB. He was doing a lot of midfield work, but when Madrid had the ball, he moved back to the center back position.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting how he was set up. And you're right, he did a great job in that role, and he played with Koeman. I think when Koeman was maybe Setien, maybe I think maybe I'm mistaken, but He played a center back in the same role before. So you're right. I think if he stays, he'll be a great asset because he's versatile. He can play in multiple positions. Same way as Sergio Roberto, he can play in multiple positions. Those kind of players are good to have just in case of problems that happen with injuries or red cards and all that stuff. To have players like that is really good to have in your squad, and I think De Jong will be that next season if he stays.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully. I think um, he could improve, of course, in every. I'm not improve in terms of his talent, just improve in terms of his consistency, because I think sometimes he had
Yeah,
really bad games where he just doesn't have an impact in any way, shape, or form. But I think right now I would rather have him stay than leave, because I think we need someone that is versatile, that is able to play in more positions than one, because that is definitely not something that Busquets can do, especially in his age. And I don't think Nico can do it either.
how dare you
Um,
disrespect Sergio Roberto like that, man?
not
I'm joking. I'm joking.
he had a decent game. The same goes basically for everyone
Yeah,
on the pitch.
I don't think we
Just
had a
decent.
bad player. Dest had some shaky things, but
They said some
yeah,
shaky things, and Kissy, man, you gotta put that in.
yeah, that was like, oh come on,
I
you gotta bury
don't,
that.
I don't know. I don't know. But Kissy had his moments as well. But of course, some mistakes happen. At the end of the day, the second half was
Slow
more on
paced.
level
Yeah,
ground. They had their chances. We had a lot of chances, and we kept our clean sheet. So it is what it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was watching. My son stayed up with me to watch the game, and
Mm.
when the chance, Kessie chance, when he did, he just basically passed it back to Courtois instead of
Yep.
burying it in the net. He's like, I'm like, dude, you gotta bury that, you gotta bury that, and my son's like, no, I think he did okay. What do you? He didn't have time to. I'm like, dude, stop it. Don't make excuses. He needs to bury that.
You
uh,
came in with the logic.
yeah, like don't give me logic, man. I don't want to hear the logic. I want him to bury it. Uh, so yeah, I think we need to start taking our chances, man. Like I don't want us to have the same problems that we had last season, where we create a ton of chances, and then once we get to in front of the goal, we just either fucking sky it or just pass it back to the goalie, basically, and we ended up losing or tying a lot of games because of it, because we just couldn't finish. Um, I think they need to do some drills, some finishing drills, or some just shoot for fucking 24 hours until until they start.
But I think this season is maybe going to be a little bit better, especially with Lewandowski, and
Yeah.
and I mean the chances that Lewandowski had, they were definitely much more difficult to put in than what Kessié
Yep.
had and what Ansu Fati had. Those chances are rather easy to put in. Lewandowski had that one chance where Alaba, I think, was who blocked the shot,
Yep.
but that can happen. It's not like a clear cut chance.
Yeah.
It's not that you need to put it in the net. But
And it was going in.
I,
If Alaba didn't slide and got it out, it was going in. It was in the corner, in the bottom corner there. It was going in. So it's
stuff like that
exciting.
can happen. But I think
Yeah.
with Lewandowski and with Aubameyang and Ansu Fati and Ferran Torres, and I'm surprised that Ferran Torres didn't have
Didn't
any
play.
minutes.
He's still not
Oh,
fully fit. He had some problems in his heel, I think, last week. So him and
yeah.
PK were ruled out for a few games. If PK just played his first game yesterday, so they both had
Got
issues.
booed the shit out
Oh,
of him.
what
They
the fuck
booed
was
the shit.
that? Madrid fans, man. Well, even in the US, they're booing him. Like, what the fuck?
I think a lot of Barca fans booed him too.
Why?
There probably in the US there are a lot of Shakira fans, man.
Did a lot of Shakira. Oh, come on, man! You can't do that to my boy. I mean, he fucked up, but still, like you know, you know,
Honestly, how the
but
fuck do you cheat on Shakira, man?
that's fucked up. But
Come on.
we don't know, man. We don't know. We don't know what's happened behind doors. We don't. We can't really judge. But whatever
Don't
happened
defend
between
him,
them,
man.
no, I'm not defending. I'm staying neutral. Like it's terrible that he did what he did, but you can't really say that we know what's going on. You know what I mean? Who knows what happened before that or after that or whatever? It's still fucked up. But like, booing him when he's doing his job, it's kind of fun. It's like saying it's like you're something happened to you like that, and then you go to your office, and as you're walking in, your customers are like boo to you as you walk in. I don't even
But
know you.
honestly,
What would you?
I, but honestly, I don't think that it's affect him too
No,
much.
no, I'm
He
sure it's not. But
he thrives usually of those kind of things. He likes that. I mean, every time we have a game against Espanyol or right in front of Classico, he needs to tweet some stupid shit just to rile up people. That's the way he is. I mean, it is
like
what it is. It's
like
bad.
Cornelia, wasn't he breaking on about their stadium? Um, so yeah, I think overall we have a pretty strong squad for next year, and I think if we add Kounde to it, I don't think we'll have any excuses to not get titles like next year. We have to win at least one title. I'm not even talking about the Copa del Rey. I'm talking about La Liga or Champions League. Um, so
Champions League is very difficult. You can have
it will,
one bad
yeah.
game, and that's
That's more
it.
unpredictable than. But for Champions League, as long as we make semifinals, I think I'll be happy with it. If we play well and make it to the semifinals, I think that'll be an
Yeah.
improvement because it's we fucking didn't even make the group stage last year. I mean, it's not you can't really. Last year was just I think it was a really really fucking weird year. We didn't have the fact that we had to rely on Barca B players in the middle of the season.
Especially in the first, when the season began, we lost a lot of
Yeah,
points.
we didn't
Points,
have.
not even against the big teams. I mean, we lost the Classico, but
Yeah,
and we lost against Atletico de
Atletico.
Madrid. But
Yeah,
that those games weren't the deciding. We won against Atletico Bilbao, but it is what it is. We had those, especially those smaller teams, were getting points, and
yeah,
in the Camp Nou and away as well.
yeah,
So we had a lot of teams just um, banking on our insecurity. We had a lot of insecurity, especially in the back.
yeah,
And I think this season is going to be a little bit different. We have that depth. I'm not as enthusiastic and ecstatic like you. I'm very cautious about this entire operation. But after that Classico, I cannot deny that there is something growing and some plan behind it. And Xavi knows what he wants, and I think I'll give kudos as well to Laporta and Alemani for getting Xavi what he wants. I think that's important
yeah,
for a coach, especially because he's not um, going to get every wish. That's just how it is, because the market is it's not just about Barcelona. A lot of
right.
players like Koulibaly are going to another club. But I think they did a good job bringing in Lewandowski, bringing in Rafinha, bringing in Christensen. Is just so far a good job. And if they can get Kounde, it will be a tremendous job.
Man, that would be that would be more than we thought would happen this summer, because we didn't. I know there were going to be some movements. I didn't realize it was going to be
Mhm.
this fierce and this focused. Like they know exactly how to operate this shit. Like, and they're not faded by the media and how the all the media is trying to spin what's happening with the club financially and everything. They're just focused on what they need to do, and that's something that's commendable. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Keeping their cool is something that I gotta respect. They kept their cool. I mean, a lot of clubs are. We are not in a good spot financially.
Right.
That's just facts.
Yep.
But teams not having the decency or respect and talking shit. I mean, reading the German press and what Bayern said. Not Kahn, not Oliver Kahn, but Uli Hoeneß, who's an honorary chairman and who was the club president um, for a long time. Reading what the I don't know if it was the manager in Napoli who said that he wasn't going to sell him to Barcelona because they don't have any money and stuff like that. I mean, there is no respect,
They don't respect us at
and
all. And it's same with
yeah,
with Napoli. Their president yesterday said the same thing. Said the Koulibaly insisted on leaving, and he told
mm,
and the president told him basically that when I can't sell you to Barcelona because Barcelona doesn't have any money.
mm,
And then he said
mm,
after that Chelsea, put in an offer to buy him. But things like that that's being said. It just I don't know if it's just out of jealousy that we're operating really well, or if it's out of pettiness, or what's going on. They don't really need to say things like that. They don't need
yep.
to,
You get. I
but
mean,
they
even
do.
if you think that you can just out of respect of a club,
Yeah,
of a rival club, or not even a rival club, just another club,
yeah,
just out of respect, just don't say anything. I mean, it's not that hard. You're a president of another club. Just keep your opinions to yourself.
yeah.
So it is what it is. And then at the end of the day, he didn't lose his player to Barcelona. He lost it to, or he sold him to freaking Chelsea. So what's the point talking about Barcelona? I mean,
Right.
it's for us, it's do or die. So basically, if we fuck up or if we get humiliated another time in the Champions League, people will talk.
Hmm.
It's going to be rough, especially after spending so much money.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we are. I mean, the board is trying to put together a competitive
Competitive team.
squad,
Yeah.
and I think that's what should count. At the end of the day, it's sport. It's not about anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of and it's blowing my mind because if you think about it, we're not even spending that much money. It's not like we spent 200 million. And when I'm saying too
Mm.
much money in comparison with other teams, Madrid alone spent 100 million on one player. Like I mean, we used
Yeah,
to do that.
well, they
We
don't have they don't have that problem. I mean, we got to be honest. The last board, they
they fucked
spent
us.
money like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They spent money on useless players, on players that way too much money with way too much wages, contracts out of this world.
Yeah.
And I think at the same time, Real Madrid kept
Yeah.
their money to themselves, and they
They barely
had
spent anything. Yeah.
they dipped a little bit there, dipped a little bit, but nothing too crazy. And we were going like crazy. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
when they're spending now 100 million on Chomini, it's okay.
No,
because
I'm not
they
saying it's not okay.
uh,
My point is that other teams are spending more than us, and we are in a financial restraint. We have to sell some of our. We don't have billionaires spending money on us like Chelsea and City and everybody else that's beside Real Madrid. That's actually a state owned or billionaire owned club. We don't have that kind of luxury to just rely on our billionaires to buy the
mm,
players. We have to look into ourselves and try to come up with our own money to do it. So selling off or selling off some of our assets to be able to compete in a bigger with the big clubs is something that we have to do. It's not something that we want to do, but we have to do.
mm,
And in my opinion, everything that has been spent so far has been spent really wisely. Like it hasn't been splashed on 130 million on one player like we used to do. Most of our players came in for free. We only spent money on two players, and both of them combined is like 110 millions, including the add-ons. So
mm.
it's not something that we're recklessly just buying everybody. We're going very calculated on the players that we want, and the coach wants to be able to compete, and that's to me it's very sensible. So I don't understand this all these attacks from
Yeah,
journalists from all over the place.
I think a club like Bayern, they when it comes to finances, they can't talk because they are not state owned either, or they don't have any um, billionaire behind them to help them, and they have no debt.
No,
They can talk from
they
that.
just buy the small players from their league instead of letting them grow. That's what they do.
Well, they did
Farmers League.
some good deals. I mean, Mane is a good deal. Having Mazarawi coming for free and stuff like that. They they are really they always put together a competitive team. But at the same time, you need to have some respect because Barcelona always respected Bayern. So there is no reason
Hating.
to be rude.
To be a hater.
Yeah, well, I don't know about hating, but they are just. You need to have some respect. I mean, even after we signed Lewandowski, we always Laporta and Alemani just talk good about Bayern. There is no reasons to take shots at Barcelona. There is literally no reason to take shots.
Yeah, well, it's not just them. That's the thing. I mean, I get if they're salty because Lewandowski didn't want to stay and did everything he could to come to play for Barca, which is in their mind, it's kind of disrespectful to them because he's a legend and whatever. But at the same time, like it's not like we're pulling him out of from from his hair out of the squad. He's willingly wanted to come and
Mm.
he's feeling like his journey's over there. He wants something different, something new. I think he earned the right to do that, in my opinion, of how much he gave to the club, to his club. So I still couldn't comprehend the saltiness that they were, trying to spread for when the saga started with the Lewandowski, and it's the same thing with Kounde now in Chelsea. Chelsea, since we snubbed them for Rafinha, and now they're
Mm.
if you look at the journalists from the UK are attacking Barca like crazy because we don't have the money, but we're still buying players. Same thing that everybody else, all the clubs are
And
saying.
it's the same rhetoric all over the press. I think even here in Germany, it's the same rhetoric. It's always negative news. I went into the One Football app, and it's I mean it's called the One Football app. It's not One Football app, so it's not a digit. It's called One Football app, and um, usually they have those articles right up when uh, at full time. So when a game ends, they have that article. no article about Barcelona winning against Real Madrid. Just, I mean, like 3 hours later, they had an article just writing neutral and but like 10 articles about their financial situation. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. But it
Unbelievable.
is what it is. We are at the spot now, and hopefully we can shut some haters up and just do our thing. I mean, we need to focus. The players need to focus. The fans need to be there, and I think the club need. It's the most difficult time for us as Barca fans that we ever went through. I think
Yeah.
because
And
we
and
never went through the
the
80s or
right, right.
the late 90s and stuff. We were too young
Remember it.
to experience that. And for us right now, it's the most difficult time. And I think we will get through it somehow. It's going to happen. And it's crazy, especially in no disrespect, but if a club is owned by a billionaire and you literally sold your soul, I mean the entire club. If I don't know, a freaking sheikh or a freaking American billionaire who bought Chelsea or Liverpool is owned by Americans. If they decide they want to sell the club for a yacht and freaking I don't know restaurant, then they can do so. And you can do nothing about it as
Yeah.
as fans. You have no power in saying anything. So that's that. I don't know why you're pointing the finger at somebody selling assets. We can do that. It's always a decision of club members. It's not something that
Got to be voted
the
on. Yeah.
board can just do.
Yep.
And I think you need to respect that. At least we have some sort of democracy in the
Democracy.
club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy. All right. So we'll be back next weekend to talk about the two games that are still left to be done
Yeah.
in the U.S. tour. They're playing against
Juventus.
Juve on Tuesday, and then against New York Red Bulls on Saturday. So that those are the two games, and we can react to them over the weekend and see how we do. Hopefully, Kounde will join to play for the New York one.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't think that he's going to come to the US.
No, probably not.
That would be too
But do you think?
stressful. I mean, if we are signing him, he's probably going to be there for the Joan Gamper trophy.
Do you think we're gonna get him, or do you think
I think
Chelsea's getting him?
it's going to be difficult. I'm going to be honest. I think Chelsea is going to offer more.
They already offered him
I
more,
mean,
as far as we know from their journalists. I don't know how much they're lying or they're telling the truth, but as far as we know, that they offered him around 9-10 million net,
yep.
and Barca cannot match that. So we don't know exactly what Barca's going to offer him, but uh, maybe he'll choose a sporting project more than the money, like Rafinha did. But that's where we are right now. We don't know really what's happening.
I think Chelsea has a sporting. I like Tuchel. I'm a big fan of Tuchel. I think he's a great coach. Um, and I think they have a great squad as well. I mean, they bought Sterling, they bought Koulibaly. There's something, and especially with a lot of guys leaving, I think there's something new that can manifest itself. So basically, both have sporting projects, but I think it depends on what he wants exactly. I mean, if you want like uh, Piccadilly's Circus and some fish and chips and some ginger ginger women, or you want some hot Spanish girls and some calamari and some
Some hot
beach
sun and
and
beach. Yeah.
then you go to Barcelona. Some people said that it's basically was for Robert Lewandowski, it was basically his wife's idea.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I was. That's good. That's good. But
Yeah,
yeah, it'll be interesting.
why
Which one?
wife's happy, your life's happy. If you
Exactly.
keep your
Yeah.
wife, it is what it is.
Especially if you have a really high stress job like a professional athlete, you don't need you need a lot of uh, uh um comfortable situations and comfortable environment when you go home. You don't want anything that's gonna stress you out and disrupt your routines and all that stuff. And being in a sunny
Tell that PK.
living in a sunny Barcelona and enjoying your life there, I think it's gonna help. I mean, I'm sure it helps a lot of players. That's why a lot of players come to Barcelona to play. But I'm sure, and I hope that Kounde makes the right decision and comes to play for Barcelona. Do it for the ladies.
Well, just do it for the ladies, exactly.
All right. Well, anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we had a good start in preseason. I mean, we have 3 games left total, not 2 in the States and 1 in Barcelona. And then the season already is on the way, and I hope we can have a great start as well. And the first game against Rayo Vallecano, I think it should be a win. No matter what, we need to have a good start. And after that, we have Bilbao, which will be very difficult. But with the depth that we have and the players that we have now, I think it's possible to create a really, really good start for the season.
I agree with you. I think we will be a much improved team from last year, and I think we will have a great season. We're not going to do any predictions yet for this episode, but I think we will have a great, at least great first start to the season if we continue in this path. So I'm excited, and I can't wait for the next game in 2 days. Just to see how we set up again. I'm sure it's gonna be a different lineup, just to see experiment more and put some new flavors there to test things out with the new players. But it'll be interesting to see how he does it.
Yeah, I think against Juve maybe we'll put in Torre and Abde.
Yeah.
Maybe because I think Classico is Classico. He's going to put in the best possible squad, and even the substitutions. Those are a lot of guys had their experience.
Yeah. Well, I think I think he needs to not use too many from the next game and going forward. That he needs to try to use the ones that can be playing week in and week out as much as he can, because you want them to be match fit, but by the time we start the season. So I think.
Yeah, but I think for a game like Juve, you can try
maybe the first half, but you need to get the other players up and like Lewandowski. He needs to play at least like a half, like a 60 minutes or something of playing time, just to get him close to that 90 minutes by the time we start the season. And stuff like that. Like for the other players that haven't played as much, that just came back, like Ferran Torres and other players to actually.
That guy can rest. Let him rest a little bit more. The guy was playing every freaking game last season,
and I'm sure he will play every game when he comes back. So
why?
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Don't get me riled up, man.
I was joking. But all right, thank you guys so much for listening. And and we will come back again next week for more Forza Barca podcast. Make sure to follow us on YouTube and Spotify, everywhere, every podcast application. We're there, so we appreciate the support. Thank you so much, and yeah, we'll see you guys next weekend again when we talk about the games and hopefully new transfers and some cool shit. Peace.
Nothing to add. Visca Barca.
Visca Barca.